Hey guys, welcome back to the Sisters Show. It's your favorite sisters, Jackie and Athina.
What's up, guys?
How are you guys? We miss you. It's currently literally black outside, so if our lighting looks a little whack, that's why. But we still just, want to have a chill, fun, rainy day conversation. I have to update you guys. Look what I got. I'm not proposed. Not a wedding
She's
ring.
not engaged. Don't worry,
It's an
Dad.
ring. Even better.
Yeah.
But I
Twinsies.
finally got the Oura ring. I know if you guys have been listening to us for a while, we've talked about it before on the show, and I really have been wanting to get it for the past few months, and I finally made the plunge, and I'm so happy. I can't wait. I'm definitely going to do like an in-depth review on TikTok or something, and you guys can follow it over there. But I have had it for like a day and a half now. I actually was flying
She's an
back.
actual professional.
I was actually flying back home, and our flight landed at like 12 a.m. and the ring delivered the day before. I literally was like, I'm coming inside, grabbing the key to go to the P.O. box and grabbing the ring, and I set it up at like 2 a.m. So I was like so excited about it. But
the hype is real.
it is just a beautiful little ring, and I am just a numbers girl, so I love seeing all those like stats.
She
and
really
stuff.
is.
I connected it to natural cycles, which I definitely want to talk about again on the show, because after I use it for a while, I really want to do like a full in-depth explanation.
Dryer, washer.
I really want to do a full in-depth explanation of like my experience with the ring, and I think we could actually both do a whole thing on it.
We could do a whole episode. I have a knot in mine. I'm just gonna unknot it on
Unknot it. But so yeah, this is my sister's shit of the week, which again, I know we've talked about it before, but I really
It's like really knotted. I'm just gonna leave it.
Do you want to fix it?
No, it's fine.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just really excited to be an Aura girly now.
She's an Aura girly. Okay, so I have not one stitch of makeup on. I have greasy hair, and I want to just tell you guys the reason is because I had another session of the Morpheus 8 yesterday, which is light frequency and microneedling in my face. And basically it's like the newest technology that's non-invasive, and it works with your body's collagen. And even though I've featured, I feel like Collagen Project many times, it's fresh on my mind, especially with the conversation that we're going to have today. So I just want to tell you my shit of the week, since I look how I look. And so you're like, not that you really care, is I had this procedure done literally less than 12 hours ago. And it seems like the recovery, or whatever you would call it, is so much better, because I remember last time, because you go in 3 sessions, so this was my second session getting it done, and I had like bruising and blood all over my face the next day. And like today, I don't know if you guys are probably watching us on YouTube, like I don't have any of that. So as far as like fresh on my brain is the Morpheus 8 procedure that I had yesterday. She had a chemical peel.
I got my second peel. I think I've talked about on here my first peel that I did. Same with the Morpheus, where you kind of like do it in sessions. So I actually really enjoyed my peel, and now with my second one, I'm noticing I'm also like starting to peel a little bit earlier, which is good.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I am a big skincare junkie and girly, so for me it's like really, really cool having whenever people ask me about a peel, like you asked me yesterday, I'm like, it's exfoliation on steroids, because it
I never
really
had one.
is like getting rid of that like top layer of gunk and like really clearing up your skin. I actually noticed the best results like about 3 weeks after my peel is when I really saw, I was like looking in the mirror and I was like, wait, my skin's actually like really freaking clear right now. And
I saw a huge, and you don't have bad skin. When you first moved, you kind of had like a adjustment.
Oh my gosh, I went through a whole funk.
But you're not like a person that I'd be like, oh my gosh, like clearly your skin was like glowing
and just clear and fresh, and I am just living for that. So I definitely recommend if you guys
peel.
Yeah, if you guys are into skincare, or you're just looking for something that you don't want to do at home, like I think a peel is a good way to like start and ease into it. Obviously the Morpheus is a little more
I'm gonna be real with you guys, because it's my podcast and I can do that. So it's painful.
Yeah.
Like it was painful. And I have a very high pain tolerance, and I know you know that. Like, oh, sister shit, I got laser hair removal done.
You did.
That'd be another. I'm just like, I'm doing all these things,
procedures,
thanks to my sister here. She's keeping me fresh. But no, so It was more painful this time, but I do know that the amazing woman that did it, she said like, I'm going to go in harder on you because I saw how your skin reacted.
Yeah.
Really weird way for me to tell you guys what else it does. It melts fat. So like if you feel like you have a double chin or like you don't like the shape of your face, they literally like contour your face with your own collagen and elasticity. And like I've recently noticed, because I'm constantly looking at my dumb face, like talking to my social media, I was like, ooh, my smile lines. And so like I told her that. So she went in a little harder there. But like I always had a good jawline, but like it makes it even, you guys know that I have issues with like my turkey neck that I never really actually had. Neck. And so, yeah, no, we're like our own worst critic, but I feel exhausted because every time my sister and I are together, like low key, it's like we're 11 and 12 and it's our first
having
sleepover.
Our first like middle school sleepover.
Like you guys know we're like wellness girlies and 80-20 girlies, but we were up till 3:00 last night. Like, and this happens every time.
And we say it's not.
And then I'm like on this podcast as a corpse. But well, anyway, here we are.
We're coming to you as corpses, and you're lucky you got to see our faces.
In the rain with no makeup on. And here we are. So let's get into it.
Yeah. So I want to kind of open this episode up by, I feel like we are such analytical people when it comes to everything in life. And even when it comes to like doing procedures and doing all these things, like we read into everything and we talk about everything, hence why we have this show. But I think when it comes to the topic of aging and how you always talk about how like you want to age backwards and age gracefully, and how social media and the way that society is we're constantly put as women in a place of like thinking aging is always a negative thing and having such a bad connotation around it, whether it's from seeing 60-year-old women with filters on their face and they look 20, or it's normalized to like do all these different things. Mm-hmm. But how do we kind of like navigate this world and have a balance between aging gracefully and aging beautifully and feeling good about ourselves? Like I personally have no desire to like go gray at 25 and have bake in the sun and roast like a chicken and have wrinkles, right. But at the same time it is part of life. So I think it's really important we have this conversation as sisters with an age difference. And how do we navigate this? Because obviously like we do want to do these things to help ourselves look the best we can and age gracefully. And we always joke, and you said it yesterday to me and I like laughed when you were like, my vanity is what's going to keep me looking young and fresh.
But I'm serious. I'm not joking.
No, and I agree. It's like, we do have a certain standard of like beauty that we want to keep to ourselves.
I'm not ashamed to say that. And I don't care who takes that the wrong way. I have a certain level of respect for myself. Have I been upwards of 200 pounds because of like lifestyle and self-sabotage? Yes, I'm not saying that, but ultimately at the end of the day I wouldn't stay there for longer than like I was in it, because I have a standard for myself. I have a standard for my friendships. I have a standard for my whoever's in my life. I have a standard for mostly myself. And so my vanity is why does it get such a bad rap to be like, no, I care. I actually do care what I look like naked. Because it's not for my husband.
Because I think people always assume it's for like superficial reasons.
I feel like only ugly people have a problem with it.
Yeah. I think that like women that actually like give a shit about how they look and take care of themselves
get a bad rap.
It's always like you look at them, and even this is like a dumb example, but this is like the first thing that comes to mind. Like even as a girl growing up in like middle school or high school, it was like I always like, not that I went to school with like a full beat every day, I wasn't that girl, but like I loved to like get ready, and like I was a girl that they were like, stop putting lip gloss on in class, like that girl. And I feel like it always was like looked down upon. It's like, why do you care so much what you look like? Why do you care so much how you're perceived? And then
that translates into like as adults we care about like what we eat and our hygiene and like
and I think it's really challenging, because how do you have a balance between not sabotaging yourself into getting all these things done just because it's like what's societally acceptable, like to have a small nose, to have big lips, to have a contour jawline, to have
small waist,
cheekbones, to get
no
like
cellulite,
buccal fat removal, to
not
have an
saggy
hourglass
titties after having children,
all these things. Like how do you
peach
find
ass? Like I'm thinking of all the things.
I know all the things that are like societally beautiful, and then as you age, when you add that factor into it, it's like we were just talking about it yesterday. Men with salt and pepper hair, some wrinkles. It's
I'm like FaceTiming Sean this morning, and he's got so many gray hair, and I'm like, I'm about to jump him when I get home. Like he looks good. Right. And if I FaceTimed you with that much gray hair, you'd be like, I love you, babe, but let's go to the salon.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
I don't know. What is it? Where does it come from?
I don't like it. I don't like that.
Yeah.
So here's something as sisters, let's have the conversation, because ultimately this couch is for you guys to sit with your sisters here. Is we literally, part of our 3 a.m. talk last night was just like working through this. And I think one of the things Athina said was like, I'm a big no filter girly. And I'm like, I have a platform. I have real moms watching me. I have little sisters, and I'm just like anti-filter. I just am. And I don't judge people that are constantly using a filter, but I will say, and obviously it's a generational thing, because I feel like Gen Z is just like fine with filters. It's not like, oh, she's insecure. But as a mom and as a woman, if I see someone 36 that always has a filter on all the time, I'm like, you have a complex, like you are very insecure. That's just my shade I'm throwing out. And I want to like look at the deeper like root cause of this. And so I noticed that when I go on TikTok, or when I had a Snapchat years ago and I saw my face the way it does its thing, I started like seeing things I never saw before and not liking things. So let's start.
You mean your natural face?
Yes. Like when I would see myself with the filter, the same way we have body dysmorphia, we have it like face dysmorphia.
Yeah.
Filter face. Like it is a problem. And then you see, especially where we live here in Miami, not in the Keys, but in Miami, it's like
the Avatar girls.
I see women that look like legit aliens, and I feel like they're looking for that Facetune face.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The thing is like, okay, so what is the ticket to all this, and what is, like, we spoke about like mommy makeovers, and we had something to say about that, and like we went through all this, and I feel like ultimately it comes down, and you brought this up, and I can't agree more, my little bean 20-year-old, like 50-year-old I have over here, is what is the root, like what is your actual reason? Like if my boobies are saggy, which they are at 36, and I see all these women getting mommy makeovers and they're getting fake boobs and all that, like I've said this many times, I wanted fake boobs after my 4th child. I was like, I deserve it, I'm getting it. Then the black box warning, I'm like, my health stuff, I'm like, okay, I can't do it. Like I'm kind of sad about it, right? But like if you're like changing your nose for your husband, or you're getting lip injections because your boyfriend said that your lips aren't big enough, that is dangerous.
Yeah. And I think people, even like when I hear that as like a listener, I'm like, that sounds ridiculous. Who would ever do that?
But people are doing it all the time.
People do it all the time, and sometimes you don't even realize. But like, it's such dangerous territory, because it's like, as you grow as a woman, and I've even told Jackie, like, you don't even lose all your baby fat and face until you're like 22 or 23. Like, not everyone, but I'm just using that as an example of, we don't even allow ourselves to develop, like people my age, like we don't even allow ourselves to develop into like actual adult women.
Yeah.
And I got lip filler when I was 18 or 18, and there's not one bone.
Rebel.
There's not one bone in my body that regrets that. Like I fully love getting lip filler, and I don't think I'll ever stop getting it. But to me, like there's a difference between getting a lip filler or like doing something like that versus like changing the entirety of my face or the entirety of my body being so young. And I think the reason why like the filters and the aging go so hand in hand is because as a society, like we've just accepted that all aging is bad, and what are we going to do about it? And even like,
but
sometimes
that's how you get these avatar characters,
right? Yeah. And then you see
and
them.
then again, like I said, I look at Sean and he's got like salt and pepper and wrinkles. And why do men look good with wrinkles and women don't? It bothers me.
Yeah.
And how do we fix this problem? Like, I'm going to do a campaign. I don't know what kind. Like, I'm no longer in politics. I'm in this part of the territory. Like, what is this about?
I don't know.
And how do we normalize aging, I guess? Meanwhile, I'm the girl over here. It's like, I got Morpheus 8 last night. So I'm not over here judging. I just like, okay, let's play devil's advocate. Ask me why I got Morpheus 8.
Why did you get Morpheus 8, Jack?
I don't like my neck. Ask me why I don't like my neck.
But that, to me, like, that isn't an aging thing. Like, that's just like
no, it was aging. I noticed my neck had like new weird like gobble.
Because she literally would like, we would be like laying down and she'll like pull out her phone to like make a story, right? And I see her like readjusting herself. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you freak. She's like, my neck. I'm like, what do you mean your neck? Like, what's wrong with your neck? And she's like, I have like a weird like crinkle. Why is it like, wait.
What?
Hold on.
Is it not focused?
Yeah, I feel like it went out of focus for a sec. Hold on.
Am I not focused? Bro, I'm not focused.
No, I know. It just went out of focus for a sec.
Imagine the whole episode. I'm just blurry. That's actually probably better for me if I'm just blurry the whole episode, so they don't have to see me.
I don't know why I did that.
No, you would see me like on my.
And I genuinely did not even see what you were talking about.
I had to legitimately sit there and explain to her over and over again, and then find like pictures that I hated of my neck. But it wasn't. So what does that mean? Like, also, my husband's anti-Botox because he's seen so many botched faces in Myrtle Beach, Murder Beach, and
not the place I'd go to for Botox. That's for sure.
Clearly, Miami is a different vibe.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen in people that get Botox for a decade, let's not go over the black box warning because 80-20, okay? From what I've seen is, first of all, the maintenance. Because ultimately, you know, if I really wanted Botox, I would have Botox. Do you not know that? And then I do like my facial expressions. I don't want to be...
See, but there's so many people I feel like I've seen that I didn't even know they had Botox. Like, I didn't notice.
But I feel like it gets very sketchy because when you get Botox and like, let's bring up your mom, my stepmom. She's never done one thing to her face. And she looks so beautiful. She's aging gracefully.
Right.
If you take someone her age, whatever age that is, we don't need to put it on camera.
Disclose that information.
It's fine. It's not my job to do that. If you took someone her age that's been getting Botox since my age, which that would be a really long time, actually, it'd be like 20 years. So let's just say a decade.
Right.
They look older. That thing we talk about where you're like, your face should be moving. And like, I feel like your mom looks younger than people that have Botox for 10 years.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, guys. Yeah. I don't know if it's like, I'm a simple kind of girl, like, but I'm not. So whatever. I feel like Gua Sha and like Morpheus 8. And I realize there's people out there, like, I thankfully, which we talked about this last night, which we can touch on very briefly. Like, I don't have deep frown lines. If I had them, I would not be okay with it. Like I just told you guys, I don't like my neck. So like,
yeah,
I guess who am I to like, but then the freaking, frownies. I've seen women in my crunchy space.
Those are like the tapes that you tape.
And they have their deep frown lines go away.
Interesting.
So that's the thing is I think that like there's no way for me to put injections in my lips where I go the natural route. I guess that's what I'll go natural. And then I'm like, okay, do I want this to be my 20%?
Yeah.
Whereas like having a foreign entity in my boob for the rest of my life, I'm like, oh, that's not really 20. That's like 100%.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I do. I think when it comes to
hyaluronic acid burns off eventually. Botox, it burns off eventually.
Yeah.
Like I know so many people and friends that get Botox. That's fine. I'm saying for me, I'm just like,
yeah, it's not something that I guess when it comes down to it, for me, what I want to think about is like what outweighs the other. So
right, exactly.
That's really what, as I grow up and have all of these different things that I could get done to my face, my body, my tits, my ass, like, what outweighs the other, each
Right.
side. And that's really what I feel like is the only way I could look at it. And that means in every regard, health regard, how it looks regard, like, am I, you know, for example, getting a boob job, like, to me, the health risks associated with such a surgery plus what is in my body is absolutely not worth it for the harm and danger it could cause me. And
I know in real life, real people upwards of 50 with like breast plant illness,
right,
very serious issues,
right,
that the second they remove them, they lose 30 pounds, their head's not like I mean,
right.
like real, it's a real thing.
No, 100%. And that to me is what I would think about when I'm making decisions. And like,
Right.
I guess
We want to empower you though to like do you, boo. Like if you are so like you're just dead set on those boobies, just like them be vigilant in the sense of like get, even though I think they cause cancer, mammograms, you know, like pay attention to your detox pathways, never drink alcohol then. Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like I would rather like dip and dive in 20% other things than like stick something permanently in me. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah.
Breast lift, lipo we talked about last night, you know, air sculpting, moving fat around from my thighs into my titties and then lifting them, doing it. I would do it. But then also it's like elective surgery is also for idiots as well. Like I agree. Like it's like, why am I going under the knife? Is it that important? Saw a reel the other day, gonna recreate it. Not when my sleep score is 59 because I was up till 4 a.m. talking to my sister. But it really hit home for me, and it like I'm recreating it because of this. And it was like a mom in her kitchen, and she's like taking care of her son or daughter, I don't care. And it was like, my kid said to me, I'm going to botch this, but it said something like, my kid remembered how, you know, saggy my boobs were. And then it was like her over here, like in shorts. My kid remembered my cellulite. My kid, like, it was like bringing up all the things as mothers that were like, and it's like, it doesn't fucking matter. I'm not doing a good job.
No, I know exactly.
Do you get what I'm saying?
I do.
Like Luke's going to grow up and be like, my mom's neck.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, we put so much like emphasis and focus on things that, especially when you have kids, I feel like it puts it in a different light.
I don't have it. I was gonna find it and show it to you so I can do a better job, but it's fine.
No, I
You know what I'm
seen a
talking-
similar thing
Yeah.
where it's like your kids aren't gonna remember the things that you critiqued and picked apart about yourself as a mother, and I don't remember like if my mother didn't like something. You don't know as a kid, like you don't pick up on that or remember that. Like there's so many other things that
The children
are so
do
much
pick
more
up how we
valuable.
talk to ourselves. So that's something that we need to like pay attention. If you don't have a child and your like little sister's listening, they're listening.
Yeah.
But it's like when you just like put the damn bathing suit on, wear the shorts. Like my kids and also my boys think I'm the most beautiful. Like I'm gonna go home like a grease monkey toad today, and they're gonna be like, like they.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's also like me trying to talk you into seeing my neck I didn't like.
I know, she's like trying to convince me it's there. I'm like, I really don't see it. Like I really didn't. And I don't know, maybe it's blissful ignorance, but
Well, also we're each other's biggest fans. I feel like it's just no matter what. But we're also not like blind. Like we call each other out. That's what's good about us.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We don't shit on each other when we're down either. Like you didn't tell me last year, like you're inflamed, bitch. Like you were just like, I'm gonna ride this out.
But again, I feel like I didn't notice it until
because you love me so much. Until the before and afters.
right.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I think that when you are like in something with someone or you see someone every day or whatever, it's like you don't pick up on something versus like you see them and then you see them again like 10 months later and you're like, oh, you really are a completely different person. But I don't know. I think that
we need to hold space for age.
Yeah.
And we need to hold space for people being sovereign over their Botox and their boobies and their like labia surgery if they get it. Like I feel like we just need to like less shade thrown out.
yeah.
I have friends that have fake boobs. I have friends that do Botox. I have friends that think it's crazy that I have lip injections. Like it's like, and ultimately, like you said last night, it's always rooted to an insecurity.
Yeah.
And so when you make decisions, like no one's gonna tell me otherwise that lip injections aren't amazing. Like,
yeah.
I also don't give a shit what you think as well. Like,
right. I think when it comes to doing things to your body, it's like maybe a cliche, but it really does come down to like, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
And what is the root and reason behind it? And
you'll never be happy or satisfied if it's rooted in something like external, in the sense of like, yes, it's vanity. We open this up saying like, I'm vain and I care what I look like. But if
chasing after something physical to fix something,
you're gonna want
not,
another one,
not
another
physical.
thing. Yeah.
And I think that's really what it comes down to, is like, I said it to you yesterday, you could have the most fillered up, botoxed up, plasticed up woman, and she on the outward like looks super beautiful or whatever, and inside she's literally the most insecure, least confident person ever. And that speaks so much louder. And again, I'm not saying I'm never gonna get this or this, but I'm never getting fake tits. But I just think
Shots
that
fired.
there's so much thought that never like doesn't happen a lot of the time with these types of things. And it's like, really, why are you doing it? Like, my whole life I've hated my nose, and
That's so wild to me.
my whole life I've hated my nose.
She has our dad's nose.
Literally, when I was like 16, I was like, as soon as I turn 18, I'm getting a rhinoplasty. Like, I hate my nose. I think it's
like,
so big.
No, what?
And yeah, but it's like these things that we notice about ourselves.
Yeah, it's so true.
And like, yeah, when I look at photos of myself when I was like a teenager, my nose did look big. Like, it did. It was like not a huge, schnoz, but it was like, I just felt like it took over my face. And I got my lips done, and my body held on to my lip filler really well. So I've only done it a few times, but
same. Mine does the same.
It's like,
we must be sisters.
after I did that, for some reason, combination of that and also just growing into my face, I no longer hate my nose. And what if I turned 18 and got a rhinoplasty? Not that if you get one, you're going to regret it, but I'm just saying, I think people my age, like before you turn 25, like be really careful about what things you actually do choose to do, because
also think of having babies.
Right. I think we're really quick to just like make decisions because like right now we hate certain things, but
like grow into yourself.
Give it a few years and like just see how you feel. And if it's something like, if I'm 27 and still hate my nose, I will go to Turkey and get a nose job. But I'm not in that place right now, and I feel like you have to give yourself time to grow into yourself as a woman and as an adult. Like, your brain doesn't even develop till you're 26 fully.
So let's go here. How do you feel about these moms that like give their daughters like 17, 18 breast implants?
I personally don't really like that. I just
like, happy 18th birthday, go get your boobs and nose done.
It's just
I'm
not
judging you.
It's
I think
just
I'm pretty
not
much
my vibe. I really think I don't like the idea of anyone under the age of 18 honestly getting any sort of like surgeries like that. I just think it's like, you don't know who you are yet. And I just think it's really slippery territory when you get into like that, and it's not my vibe, honestly. Like, I'm definitely not anti-plastic surgery, but I definitely am anti 16 and getting stuff done, or even like 18. Like, you're still just so young, and you aren't in the woman that you're gonna be in like 10 years. So it's just like so hard.
Even in your 20s, as a 36-year-old, like, my body, I have more respect and love for it than I did in my 20s. And like, you're right. Like, if you get something done that's like especially permanent,
I know.
But then I'm like, I also have tramp stamps and like tattoos that I'm like, but it's part of my story.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I totally agree with you. I mean, we're not trying to be the agreeable podcast over here. I mean, I like to have these conversations and get this like conversation started and going. I think the biggest thing too with social media is people are so tough on the internet, like keyboard warriors. And even me right now, like saying I'm in my selfish era and like I care about like my abs and my ass and my legs and how I look, and I have extensions and lip injections and Morpheus 8 and all these things. It's like, I know there's people that follow me, and even maybe people that are, I know in real life, that are 100% judging me. But I can tell you, when I put my head on my silk pillowcase, I don't give a fuck. I don't care, because when you go to bed at night and have sex with your husband and it's like vanilla and boring, like it's not my problem. And if you're okay with like your line lips, like, I don't know. I just feel like we need to, the number one thing I'm finding as I get older is people need to just worry about their fucking selves.
Yeah.
And like, obviously my sister, flesh and blood, I'm going to speak up about, and I'm going to, if she came to me and like we talked about this last night, like with her children in the future that are my children, and like we didn't agree on a health choice, which we do. But if we didn't, I would shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And you would tell me to shut the fuck up. And we would respect each other. I think ultimately too, it's about respect. And everyone else, like who one thing I heard years ago was, don't let the opinions of anyone, not your in-laws, not your outlaws, not your mom, the people when you shut your door at night that are in your household, as far as like your children, your man, like that at the end of the day is what I care about. And then obviously someone like yourself. I want to wrap this up and tell you guys a little story just to like give you a little like, oh my gosh, that's whatever. We're going to still be doing this podcast in 20 years from now. And like, literally. I was like, wait a minute. So like, we're going to watch her get pregnant, get married, have home births. I'm going to be a grandma on this. Could you imagine the conversations and wisdom we're going to give you guys? It's kind of really exciting.
It's really freaking exciting. And that's why.
A time capsule.
It is a time capsule. And it's literally why we have this.
No, I know.
It's a documentation of everything.
Like, we actually don't care if anyone's listening. We're still doing it. No, but you're listening. No, so I want to tell this story. I think it's important, and especially for the mamas out there. And then even if you're my sister's age or a friend of my sister's or whatever, like my little sister who's 15, like listen up. So I have these bumps on my ear that I was born with, and I got them from my uncle, which whatever. You guys can't close up and see them. I don't really want you to get close to my face right now because I had a Morpheus 8 yesterday, but they're just like two little bumps, like right here. What would we call, like the cartilage area?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a big deal. When I was little, I didn't really think anything of them until kids started making fun of me, calling me like an alien in elementary school. And like, I would come home crying, whatever. My mom takes me to the doctor to see if I can get them removed. And the doctor, it's like, the roots on them, even though they're on the top of your ear, are so deep. If we take them out, you could lose your hearing in that ear. So my mom's like, okay, we're not doing that. So I've had these bumps. I'm 36 years old. I've had boyfriends and breakups, and I've been made fun of, and I have children and all these things, whatever. I remember like in middle school, like every other girl that goes through this, and I didn't have social media or anything, so that's wild. I would like cover my ear, and I was like embarrassed about it, but it's really not a big deal. It's not like a
It's nothing you would even notice.
Like, I don't have like a mass growing out of my, like I don't
like
have
a freaking tumor
it's like
coming out of
my twins growing out of my ear. Okay. So all these years later, I don't even think about my ear bumps. They're like two little bumps on my ear, whatever. So I only ever remember them being there like when I go to like a new hairstylist, or if I was getting my mostly hair, facial things, massage, people will see them, but then who's going to actually ask? Like, unless they're afraid it's like COVID. So
in the earlobe,
COVID. So literally a year ago, Jamie, our little doll baby, he looks at me and he's like, because kids are so honest and raw and real, right? And like Luke would be like, what? But James looks at me and he goes, what are those bumps on your ear? And I'm like, I don't know. I was just born with them. God made me this way. And James looks at me like without skipping a beat, and he's like, oh my gosh, it's your unicorn horn.
I'm gonna cry.
No, I told you the story already, but I'm telling it again because I want us to also normalize like your unicorn horns. Like, you have a mole that you can't stand, you have a scar, there's something that you came out of the womb or something happened in your life, a burn on you, whatever. It's like, what if we start normalizing like that's actually like the things that we talk about these Nephilim aliens that are walking around Miami where they all look the same. Like, I want to stand out. I'm a leader. I'm not a follower. So I don't want to be like the same mold, the same cut. And I feel like my little bump on my ear is like my unicorn horn. And so like, if you're someone that has like a blue eye with a brown eye, or you're someone like, I want us to like really like own that. And I feel like whenever I leave a room full of women, the thing that always leaves an impression on me is someone that's just like unapologetically no fucks given themselves.
Right.
And that kind of confidence changes the world. And obviously there could be toxic versions of that. But like, I'm always just like, damn, like that's awesome. And so I think for our children, for future generations, for my future niece, when she sees the bumps on my ear, I'm going to be like, I'm going to tell her it's my unicorn horn. I don't know. Just wanted to leave you guys with that.
I think that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that story until you told me last night. And
like, maybe my turkey neck was what were we going to call it? I don't know.
It was your turkey.
It was my turkey.
It was your
No, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, let's just, you know.
And I think there's along with just physical aging too, there's a confidence and like no fucks given that comes with getting older that I personally
it does get really good.
Like when I see
the yesterday in a crop top at Zara,
that didn't do it for me. When I see like there's this one housewife that used to be on New York, her name is Bethany, and like when I see her on TikTok and stuff, she makes like a lot of funny videos. And
Bethany Frankel.
Yeah. Like that type of energy, just like I'm literally like 60 years old and I just don't care. Like whatever you're worrying about at like 25 is ridiculous. Like not to gaslight you, but just like in the grand scheme of life, it doesn't matter.
Right.
And it's like really cool to have people like that and see women like that in the world. And just, I don't know, for me, like that's even more past even like the physical aging, the graying, the no wrinkles, whatever. That type of energy is so appealing and attractive to me. And that's what makes me excited to age, because that only comes with life experience and time. And that's what I look forward to as I get older, is that type of energy. And for me, that's just, it really makes me honestly excited to age, because I'm like,
I feel like though too with me and Sean, we give you like, not like, I don't want to be dramatic, like hope, but like you're like, wait a minute, aging is actually really kick ass. It's cool because you get to watch us. Like we're not like, oh, we're getting older. Like we're like planning Sean's 40th. Like this is gonna be like, you know what I'm saying?
I do. Yeah.
Not that I have it figured out, but I do know that you know that it's like we look forward to.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to look forward to. Like, I just hate that mentality of like your life.
I don't want to tell you my age.
That is so weird to me.
I don't get that. Are you that kind of person out there?
I know
you're not.
No. I just don't. If anything, it's like you have something to be. I feel like the only people that are weird about their age are people that are not
have nothing to be proud about.
Right. It's like I'm 60 and have nothing to say for it. Like, if you are a well-experienced, well-lived person, like you should be proud of how old you are, and you should be proud of the things you've experienced. Then
maybe I should be proud of the turkey neck. I don't know. It's gone though.
I think it's better gone.
Same.
Yeah. Just like my lips are better filled.
Same. Mine too. No. Ultimately, you guys, we can't pick what your 20% is if you live by that rule. And like some people would cringe watching me get on a podcast episode the day after a Morpheus with greasy hair and no makeup. But like that's my prerogative. And if there's something like you said about your nose that like at 27, it's still something that's just hanging, like think about what you're doing. Think about when you have babies, if it's something that can age gracefully with you. Don't just do it because you're 18 and you're thinking like, oh, everyone has a BBL, because there's also so many risks that come with these things. So, you know, that's all I have to say about that. Let your freak flag fly. So if you have bumps on your ear or whatever else, like just think of like that story I told you about my son and their perspective of that. Let's also think about, you know, when you say, I can't wait to get a certain age and whatever, like seeing that confidence in Bethany from the Housewives, like older women, us elders, which I'm not actually old, but we need to do better for the younger generations. And I think the only way we do that is taking the filter off, showing up, because then you youngings will see us like just owning it. And just like you've helped me in confidence, I'm not saying it doesn't go both ways, but like as we get older, like let's do better. Let's not be embarrassed to say our age. Let's not be embarrassed to say our weight. Let's not like,
yeah. And there was actually this really beautiful trend on TikTok. I don't know if you saw it, but it was like a carousel post, and it was like, this is 45, and then it was like you swipe, and then it was a photo of like their skin or their face, and just saying like, this is the skin of a 45-year-old that went out with her friends and laid in the sun and did this and that. And I think it's that type of thing that
vibe
is what
I got a little emotional.
Just no?
Yeah, my eyes swelled up when you said that. Because I was just thinking, like, yeah, my smile lines, like, are from, like,
enjoying your life.
And, like, really.
Right. And, you know, people like that and culture like that is, I think, what actually makes a difference. Like, seeing that trend is what actually makes people my age not be so, oh, we need to constantly be looking a certain way, because that's not real and that's not long lasting either, honestly.
Right.
You know? So I think
also you can get your chin done and your implants and your lipo and your mommy makeover and your fucking everything else that you do, and if you're ugly inside, you're just still fucking ugly.
Actually, though, facts.
I also want to say that, like, keep getting plastic surgery, you're still fucking a broco and ugly, and no one's ever gonna marry you and stay with you.
Was that directed at someone?
Low key.
I can tell.
Like, stay on Tinder, babe.
Not the 45-year-olds on Tinder.
And this is my wisdom just shutting my mouth now.
That's part of growth.
It's called growth. No, but seriously though, like, I see so many ugly people that keep trying to be pretty, and it's never going to work if your soul's ugly.
Mic drop.
So,
well, we hope you guys enjoyed.
Cheers to us.
Cheers. We hope you guys enjoyed our episode this week.
Yeah.
We love you all so much. You're
beautiful. And if you want to get lip injections, I would 10 out of 10 recommend them.
10 out of 10.
This isn't like a tips episode, but I will say, I think lip injection, like getting hyaluronic acid injected into your lips, if you're like any age, was one of the biggest transformations I ever saw, like in pictures and like, yes or no?
Yeah. 100%.
Like, do you not, like, would you hang your hat on that? Like, would you, like, you know how I said
I approve this message.
Yeah, like, I'm going down for that. I said yesterday, we were talking about politics and things, and I was like, I'm not going down for, but I will die on a hill for whatever it was, and I will die on the hill for the lip injections.
Yeah, I would die on a lip injection hill.
If you're thinking about it, we are here to tell you should do it. It's so worth it.
I approve that message.
And you'll never go back. Also, you don't have to go back. Like, if you're like Athena and I, we literally don't even go every 2 years.
Yep.
So,
best decision
girl math,
ever.
it's free.
Cost per day is like a cent.
It's like nothing.
Well, we love you guys all so much. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. We'll see you next week, and we just love you.